Good morning, welcome back to the channel. This morning I'm going to talk about my number one helmet. It's AGV K5-S. The reason I've decided to talk about this morning is the fact that I've owned it for 2 years now. So I think that's a fair time to own something, to give an honest opinion on its good points and one or two bad points. Just go through the basics first. It cost me £240. That was 2 years ago. So it's from Sports Bike Shop. It was discounted. Originally it was £2.99, but I think that's classed as a mid-priced helmet. It's a sports touring type helmet. The main reason I chose it was the fit. It fits absolutely perfectly. No two ways about it. It's the most comfortable helmet I've ever owned. The weight is listed as 147 grams. It is actually a bit heavier because, as you can see, I've fitted the ARC communication system, which I'll come to in a little bit later. It now weighs 158. It's got the double D ring fastening, pin lock visor insert. It's composite carbon and fiberglass. It's got the drop down sun visor. Again, I'll say it does fit perfectly. And the sizing, I measured my head at 56 centimeters, and this one, where is it? This is side MS, which I believe is medium small. States 57 centimeters. So and when I tried it on in the shop, as I say, I knew straight away it touches absolutely everywhere, even allowing for my rather large ears. It's got the what's it call it now? Drytex moisture absorbing lining. That aperture there looks quite small, but it's sort of, once you get that past, or once I get it past my ears, it opens up inside, and it's really good. It's really and you can also get, I believe, different size cheek pads. So if it's a bit tight or a bit loose, you can go for a thicker cheek pad or a thinner cheek pad. The only thing I will say is that they are quite expensive for the extra cheek pads. They retail between £50 and £60 a pair, which I think is a little bit steep, to be honest, for what they are. But right, we'll go through a few more features now. Right, well, there are only 3 issues that I have had in 2 years, which I think isn't bad. First one, it's not great. As you can see, I wear glasses. 9 times out of 10, if I go out on the bike, I do use contacts, so this doesn't apply. But it is, I think it is important. It's not great with glasses, and I don't think there are many helmets, if people are honest, that are. So what I've done, if I was commuting or whatever, and I wasn't wearing the contacts, I've got a spare pair of glasses. I heated up the side things, and I straightened them out, so they were the straight-sided arms on the glasses. My sunglasses are bought like that, but if you do that, slides in a treat. There is a little badge in there that says spectacle friendly, but not great at all. But once you've straightened out, or you've got specs with the straight arms on the side, not an issue. That's number one. The other thing that happened, the D-ring, the little release tab that they put on the D-ring that you pull to release the D-ring to unstrap it, after about 3-4 months maybe, the AGV one broke off, and it is easier to undo with that tab on it. So I've just made another one, slightly more substantial one, put it on the inside D, and not a problem, but that did break off. It is vented. I haven't mentioned that before. There's a vent at the front, vent at the top, and exhausts at the back, which you can adjust. Now the top one, self-explanatory, there it is. The front one, you think it's that, but it isn't. it's underneath in there, and it's virtually impossible to do while you're on the move. It's right tucked up inside there. That's the only other thing I'll say. That, and apart from those three issues, I haven't had one. Talking about ventilation, the helmet comes with three of these ratchet mechanisms. You've got a green one, you've got a blue one, and a red one. Now the red one is fitted as standard. That's for touring. You've got, I think it's five or six positions, open, closed, and 5 or 6 positions in between, and it does snap shut and it does seal. The blue one is for race or track use, and that is basically open and closed because you don't mess about on track. Now the green one that I've got fitted now, I fit this in the winter months, is the green one is for what they call urban. It's exactly the same as the first one I mentioned, the red one, but with this one you've got a micro opening, so you can just click it open, and it's latched in that position. You can just click it open, and that does help. Even with the pin lock in it, it does tend to steam up a little bit when you're stationary. But with the urban one, you can just crack it open slightly, whereas with the other one, you've got to have it open there. But there is that little which you can mistake for a vent. If you flip that up, that keeps it open very slightly as well, but if you slam it down, you tend to knock that back down. So I tend to prefer the micro opening one. So in the winter months, when you're more prone to steaming up, I use the green ratchet, and they're so easy to change. The mechanism is one of the easiest for releasing the mechanism. You'll see it up on the screen now. It's just easy. So I think that covers most of it. Yep. Now about a year ago, yeah, it was a year ago almost exactly, I fitted the ARC communication system, which I found great. I fitted it purely or mainly for my telephone sat nav. I've got the phone mount on the handlebars, and this allows me to it links up with the phone faultlessly, and I can hear the instructions because as I've mentioned before, my sense of direction is non-existent. It's easy to fit. The only thing I will say with the ARC system, it fits several of the AGV range. You buy the system, but in addition to that, you've got to buy the base. I'll put a picture up. You've got to buy the base plate for each individual helmet. That base plate comes with a template that you fit round here, and it's virtually impossible to get that base plate in the wrong position. It's really simple to fit. The helmet comes with generous pockets. They've got blanking plates, blanking padding on them, which I've got. Again, I'll put a photograph up of that. Generous pockets for the speakers. It's even got grooves pre-cut into the shell for the cabling. Again, I couldn't fault fitting this. The software in the AGV ARC system is made by Sena, so there's no problem with linking up with other people. I think Sena is the main one, the main intercom system that people use. I have tried this with linking up with other people, and it can link. I think it links with up to four other riders. It links up to at least 2. I've tried it with 2 other people, and it links up with them perfectly. It has also linked up with a person that was using interphone system, so I'm pretty sure it will link up with nearly all the other manufacturers. It's easy to switch on as well. Again, it's got a built-in radio, so you can listen to FM radio if you want. I personally don't. You can play music on it, whatever. You can obviously receive phone calls, make phone calls. It's got a speed dial system, but to switch it on, it's just the buttons are nice and big. You just press that, and you can hear us say hello. And you can press it again, and she says goodbye. Again, I can't fault that. The only issue I did have when I took everything apart, I struggled to get the lining back in, but that was my ham-fistedness, I think. I just walked away, came back, and it just pressed back in. Now, I've just discovered, after going through all this, I've just discovered that they're discontinuing this K5-S. You can still, the sports bike shop don't appear to have any in, but it is readily available from other outlets, and it is heavily discounted at the moment. And with my experience of it, I can highly recommend it as an everyday helmet. It's as I said, it's light, even with the extra 10 grams, whatever it is, you don't notice it. One other thing I am going to do to it is, as you know, I do on bike footage. At the moment I use a chest mount, which can be a bit awkward sometimes if you've got a backpack on. I am going to put the Motorrad's chin mount for the GoPro camera on this, which I'll probably cover it hasn't arrived yet. I've been waiting over a week, but it hasn't arrived yet. But when that arrives, I'll probably do that, fitting that and some of the footage from that. As I say, it has been discontinued, but you can still get it. They do a K5-S, which I believe is virtually identical to this, and that retails, I think it's $260 at the moment. Considering I paid $240 for this two years ago, I don't think it's too bad. And that is also ARC compatible. You can get the adapter for the K6S as well. So I think that about wraps it up. I think I've covered everything. As I say, it fits. When I can't express enough. As soon as that goes on my head, it seems to touch everything. I've obviously got an AGV shaped head. Some people have got a showy shaped head, some people have got a HJ, whatever it is, shark head, whatever it is, but my head seems to be the shape of these AGV helmets. And as I say, I can't recommend it highly enough, and I shall keep it as long as I can. So, all that's left for me to say is, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, it does help. I can look at the analytics and see which videos are being watched the most and what people seem to want to watch. So until next time, goodbye.